All right, good afternoon and greetings from South Georgia, USA. We are out here with the Jang cedar and we are planting collards. It is the 26th of August. It might be a little early, but it might not be a little early. So as Solomon said, don't hold off on your planting, because who knows what will happen, whether it be good weather or bad weather. So that's what I'm doing. I'm planting the collards. Now this is my Jang cedar. Now this is at least 15 years old, maybe more than that. I just adjusted the foot. This is the foot that breaks the furrow. And I adjusted it up because I thought it was too deep for the ground that I've got prepared here. Now there's a good bit of dead stubble and grass in that, and this is picking it up. But it's in pretty good shape. I'm not going to complain too much. So I have just adjusted this foot up a little bit. Now this foot, there's the shaft of the foot. It actually has marks on it. You probably can't see them, but you can go up and down with it. And what this is going to do is make it not plant it quite as deep. Collards are very small seeds. And I have got the appropriate, I think, the appropriate seed wheel on there. And the original, there was a nut here that goes right here that holds this down. Let's see. But I don't know how it, somehow or another it got broken or something. So I just basically improvised and I put a bungee cord on it. And if you don't do that, if you get a seed, a big seed, sometimes it'll flip up. And especially with bigger seeds, you need this. This just keeps it in place. You get a little bit of pressure on it right there. And I'll tell you the name of these collards. I think it's Morris Heading, but I'll look at the seed bag in a few minutes. I bought 1 pound. 1 pound is plenty. That's only half of them there to cover the seed roller. You must cover the seed roller. A little bitty package of seed will not get the job done. It basically, there's no seed for it to pick up. I paid $11 for this seed, 1 pound. And I also bought another pound of another kind. And I'll show you those if I get to them. I have set this thing here 14 inches apart. This is the row marker. And I think that it will be an appropriate distance to cultivate between them with my Haas cultivator, hand cultivator, or one of these, they call them a mantis tiller. It's a little, and mine's not a mantis, but it's similar to cultivate between the rows. Okay, so I'm going to set this thing down and I'm going to go down there and plant. I've already started it. Show them down there. I've already started the rows. And now I'm going to do it again. I think that's 60 or 70 yards. 60 times 3, 180 feet. 200 feet, something like that. And I'll show you how quick you can put these seeds out. Now you can imagine the work that it would take to do this by hand. Now the other option is some kind of big fancy contraption to go behind a tractor that would cost a whole pile of money. And this is a pretty good little plot of ground here, but even a man of my age can do this. And we'll just see what comes of this $11 worth of seed. Okay, like I said, I've already planted 2 rows, but I'm going to show you now. This thing here is a pretty awkward thing to handle and carry, but there's a handle right here. It's not awkward once you get it in the ground, though. Once you plant it, it's made for doing this right here. Now the row marker flips over like this. And like I said, I think we've got this thing 14 inches apart. And you just push it. Now this thing here goes up and down. Now this ground has kind of been rotor tilled and it's kind of soft, and that's why I put that ground breaking foot up about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to start and I'm going to walk down there and I'll show you how quick it is, and then I'll come back. And like I said, this is a huge time saver. If they had had this in the Middle Ages, they could have really made a bunch of produce. Okay, here we go. And I'll stop every now and then, and I've got this, because like I said, there's some kind of dead. Yeah, this is better here. You don't have to do that. You don't have to walk after me. You can zoom if you want to. Yeah, this is definitely not putting it as deep. And collard seeds are very small. Very small. And I'm trusting that this is covering it about like it needs to be covered. And of course this, now I'll show you this. This is the grass, the dry grass that is left over, and that it gets caught on the row marker. You can stop every now and then and clean it off. Now I'm obviously planting these collards way thicker than they need to be planted, getting this grass off of it. And we'll come along here with a hoe, let them get up real good, and then we'll hoe between the very best ones. And very easy to follow the trail that the row marker is making. It's not very hard to push it. Now when I had the foot down, the ground breaking foot, it was much harder to push. But there's a little flapper foot behind it that make sure that the seeds get covered some. And we're going to go right to the end of the row. Okay, now we will turn it around, put it in the row that was just the marker just made, flip the marker over, and we will now come back. Now I used a tractor mounted rotor tiller, and we've had a lot of rain this summer, and the grass had grown up pretty big from the last garden, and I actually mowed it first and then I rotor tilled it, and I had to rotor till it 3 times, about a month in between, in order to get this ground in the kind of shape that it needed to be. And if we get some rain, and if we don't get some rain, I've got water pretty near here where we can put some sprinkler on it. And God willing, we will have a crop of collards here. Like I said, I paid $11 for the collard seed, and it looks like it's not going to take but half of them to get this job done. Not this whole thing now, but I've got several types of collards and I want to try them, different ones. And I'll do this every few days, every week maybe from now until fall. I will plant some more rows. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I said 200 feet. It's probably 250 feet. That's 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet of collard greens. Yeah, there'll be a little handwork on it. But if you go to the grocery store nowadays, you get a little bitty bunch of collards about that big for about $5, $6, $7, or $8. You just can't afford it. Well, there's always a gamble when you plant, but the whole idea of this overwintering is that down here in South Georgia, there's quite a few plants that grow in the wintertime. And like I said, we take, Solomon said to go ahead and plant. Don't wait, oh, I think it'll be better weather next week, or maybe it's fixing to rain. You don't worry about all that. You get out there every day, you get up and you go forward and push that thing right in front of you with all those seeds. I've used almost none of those seeds. Almost none of them. I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 more rows at least. All right, I do want to remind you that the purpose of my channel is to praise the name of God, to praise the name of Jesus before men, to tell you that Jesus claimed that he was the way, he was the truth, and he was the life. He said that if you believe in him, if you believe that he was the Messiah, God's Son, that you have passed from death unto life. And that is the death that is common to all of us. We are mortal human beings. But if we can see that Jesus is God, that's the test right there. Jesus came to earth and basically proved that he was God by his miracles. He fulfilled the prophecies of the Old Testament in an amazing, mathematically impossible way. And then he died, sacrificed himself for us, and rose on the 3rd day. And was witnessed and seen by multiple hundreds of people as proof. And then his disciples went out. After they saw him, they became real believers then. There was no doubt in their mind that they were working for God. And they witnessed all over the world, boldly, because they had seen Jesus. Now Jesus said this. He said, "Blessed are you who haven't seen me but believe." That's us. We weren't back there and saw him. Yes, the disciples believed. I'm not taking anything away from them, but they watched him do that stuff, and they watched him when he was risen from the dead. They watched him die. But we now, blessed are they who believe, who have not seen. That's us. We believe just on the stories that we heard in reading the Bible. All right, I'm going to go on with this right here, and I want to urge anybody out there that is on the verge of confessing Christ to go ahead and do it today. Just like I said about this planting. Don't wait. There's no better day than right now. Don't say next week, or maybe I'll check it out a little more. Either you believe or you don't. All right. Thank you for watching. This is Gardener Israel signing off.